Welcome to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. But this weekend, we are actually dedicating the whole show today to veterans. Every Veterans Day, we try to do something special for veterans, and so this weekend, we're talking a little bit less about real estate and a little bit more about some organizations that do a lot to support veterans. So we're very proud of our veterans here in Houston, Texas, and across the nation. So Ted Traver is actually one of our sponsors here on the show. So you've heard him on the show before, seen him in the studio before, representing Zippy Shell. And so Ted, we're happy to have you on the show today to talk about Veterans Day.
Well, thank you very much for having us back again.
So you attended a very special event recently.
We did. It was the Houston West Chamber of Commerce's Salute to Veterans event. It was held at the Omni Hotel West Side, and it was attended by around 450 sponsors and veterans. All of the veterans attended for free.
A big event.
A big event. We had the color guard from A&M. We had the commanding officers from the recruiting districts of the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. And they passed out challenge coins as a Heart of Service Award to all of the veterans that were in attendance. They honored the 75th anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and we had some World War II veterans that received their awards, and then also the 25th anniversary of the start of Desert Storm. So we had quite a few more Desert Storm veterans that were in attendance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would imagine. So I like that you called it a valor across generations. I really like that theme.
It is. Colonel Buddy Grantham was the keynote speaker, and his father was a World War II veteran, and then he was a Cold War veteran, and then his son is currently in Iraq. So it is about valor across generations. You know, it's a very small percentage of the American population that serves in the military or has served. Yeah. And, we owe a whole lot to our veterans and our current active duty military personnel.
You guys over at Zippy Shell, you guys really believe in service and giving back, and I like that. And I know that you're a big supporter of the military, so I think that's a great thing. That as a company, you guys represent people who really want to give back, and I appreciate that.
Well, we do, and we offer our veterans a discount on their moves and their storage in the whole process. And so, we really want to let them know that their sacrifices and their service was much appreciated.
Do you think there's less of that now in our nation, or do you think that there's a lot of that going on? And it seems like we have a lot of that going on now, but in previous years we didn't. What do you think about that?
I think at different times of the year, it is accentuated a lot more than other times of the year. Mm-hmm. I think people get caught up in their business and their day-to-day lives, and we sometimes forget our veterans, and but then at other times of the year, Veterans Day, then that patriotism picks up significantly, and I think that Americans on whole support our military and appreciate significant sacrifices that most people are totally unaware of.
Yes,
being away from home and family, being in positions where, it's grueling climate and
uncomfortable situations.
Not to mention, the threat of being attacked.
Right. Well, you brought in a couple of other people. Let's introduce your guest. Texas Team Foundation is a new organization that's been formed here in the Houston area, and Chris Nicola is here. Tell us about what's going on with you guys.
Well, thank you for having us today. I definitely appreciate it. Texas Team Foundation is brand new, and we got organized by fellow veterans that share a common goal to give back. And over the years, many of us were part of another fraternal organization you'll hear about in a little while, and they over the years we've done a variety of things. We do demonstrations. We've been to the Children's Burn Hospital, Shriners Burn Hospital. We've been to the camp for children with cancer, and we support as many veterans organizations as we can. And if a fallen brother SEAL suffers, the ultimate sacrifice in combat or whatever, we like to be there to support them and support their families. And so we decided to create a foundation where we could give back locally.
So you guys, Chris, both you and David Kappas, who's also in the studio with us, you guys are both previous Navy SEALs.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you guys have given back a lot through Navy SEAL, through associations that have to do with the Navy SEALs, and we're going to talk about that one in just a second. So this association, this is a new charity that you guys have started because you saw another need that wasn't being met. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Primarily, I mean, we intend to support local Navy SEALs and their families, first responders, fire and police, and special children's charities. We feel like there's kind of a gap that's not necessarily supported. I'm a retired police officer from Houston, and I'm also a retired SEAL. So obviously those two organizations mean a lot to me. And,
sure.
Some of the other members, we have firefighters and of course other people that have a special connection to situations with children that have, say, cancer or other ailments out of their control.
Okay, David, tell us about the organization. I know you're the president of the UDT SEAL Association Gulf Coast chapter.
Yes.
Tell us about the UDT SEAL Association.
Well, this chapter was developed some years ago by one of our members who has since passed away, but he started it primarily to get the local former UDT SEALs to come together and socialize and stay in touch with one another, and
Form a network.
That's correct. And so he did that some years ago, and myself and Chris here, we've have held the position of president of the organization, and we primarily try to stay in touch with approximately 70 to 80 gentlemen here in the local area that are members of our chapter, and when we get together from time to time to just catch up and to do networking and help one another out where we can.
So explain the name UDT SEAL Association. Explain that for those of our listeners who don't know what that means.
Well, UDT stands for Underwater Demolition, and then the SEAL is for Navy SEAL, Sea, Air, and Land.
Okay. So you guys, who all can be a member of your association?
Well, primarily military personnel, former SEALs, former UDT members, but we also have non-military personnel. We call them patriots. These are gentlemen that have not served in the military, but have a great interest in what we do and want to associate with us. We also have other members in other military units, former Navy, Army, and Marines that associate with us as well.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and then we'll come back. Ted, we're gonna come back and we'll talk to all three of you when we get back. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Veterans Day, and we talked a little bit earlier about is it enough what we're doing, and I think it's great that we have a lot of companies out there that are giving back to people who are veterans and who are current active duty. I'm going to leave you with this question. Do you think Veterans Day, one day a year, is enough? So we'll be back right after a word from our sponsors here on Houston Real Estate Radio. We'll be back with Ted Traver from Zippy Shell and his guest. We've got Chris Nicola and David Kappas here with us. We'll be back in just a minute. And if you missed any of today's show, you can catch us online at HoustonRealEstateRadio.com.
RREA Media has an exciting new product available to companies and organizations who are teaching classes and want to offer those classes online. Introducing Easy Distance Learning. Easy Distance Learning is a video-based distance learning system that allows companies and organizations to leverage their existing classroom content into a broader reach and increased revenues. Did you know that the rate of growth of distance learning is 10 times that of classroom education? And 66% of chief academic officers think distance learning is critical to their long-term strategy. Right now, 33% of higher education students are taking at least one online class. Companies and organizations not offering a distance alternative to in-class instruction risk being left behind. Video-based distance learning has three basic components: classroom capture, post-production, and content distribution. Easy Distance Learning is a comprehensive and modular system that covers all three components that can help your organization with what you are missing in offering a quality and convenient online learning experience. You choose the parts you need help with. Easy Distance Learning offers another revenue stream, a broader reach of your existing content, and a professional presentation with a great learner experience. Contact us today for a free estimate and see how Easy Distance Learning can take your company or organization to the next level.